Uh-oh, it's recording. Can you see my screen?
Before it starts, but to give access, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. It works well. I wanted to ask you if you didn't mind if we start with our presentation. It doesn't last more than 5 minutes where we show a little
Yes. That will be perfect because I am going to tell people how to get the leads from you.
Yeah.
Let me stop the recording or the sharing.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that.
Areas. But, well, you might be wondering also what type of leads will I be receiving? Well, you will be receiving all of these ones that you can see over here on this table: pre-foreclosures, appointment of substitute trustee, probate, hardship, evictions, tax sales, delinquent taxes, code violations, loan modifications, and divorce. Once I sign up, how will I access my leads? Well, we have the off-market leads portal that you will have your own credentials. You will be going to off-market leads. You'll have all of the options over here to select. Oh, it logged me out. Just 1 second. There we go. You will have all of the options over here for you to choose. You have all the lead types: pre-foreclosures, probate, hardships, tax sale, the ones that I mentioned to you earlier. You just have to click on them and you will be in that area. And with this portal, you can search by criteria. You can search by auction date, date added, date recorded, ownership, state, city, or county. Once you do your search, you will have all the results drop down here, and you will get information such as property address, property city, state, financial information such as estimated equity or equity percentage or appraised value. But if you go into details of each lead, you will get the full information of the lead: date added, they recorded, auction date, the full mortgagor's information, the full property location, house description, how many bathrooms. You will get full financial information on paid balance, original loan amount, for example. Excuse me. And you will get the full information for the loan as well. You will get origination month or year, right? Or expiration month and year. You will have all of this, and you get legal subdivision, legal description. And if you go over here, you will get the skip tracing information. If you have the premium version, right, you will unlock the email addresses, cell phones, phone numbers. It will let you know if the homeowner is deceased or if it's in bankruptcy, and you will get their full relatives information also. Now, this will be it for the demonstration. If you guys would like to acquire more information about the off-market leads, we can schedule a one-on-one consultation by answering the poll that will be appearing on the screen right now. Any further doubts, I will be sending my contact information in the chat for you. Thank you so much for your attention. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Brandon, for your time, and thank you everyone for listening and being here. I let you with Meredith right now, so you can learn everything of what she has to tell us on her workshop today on this amazing real estate world. So Meredith, if you want to start sharing your screen.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited for you guys. You guys are amazing. I'm gonna share my screen. Who wakes up on a Saturday to learn real estate? Only us, right? So let's give a hand of applause for all of us here. So I'm doing real estate. I know some of you know me, some others don't. I am doing real estate for the past few years now. It's been 11 years doing real estate. And so my company name is Sucasa USA LLC. You can go check us online, sucasa-usa.com. I do offer free consultation for any investment or anything that you guys want to do. You want to check my schedule and book an appointment. You can do it right from my website. But I'm here today to show you how to buy properties on pre-foreclosure. Okay, and I do have a lot of properties here on my website as well. You can go ahead and check it out later. I have properties under finance. This one is a land. I sell everything. Okay, if you don't know me, I've been selling real estate for the past 11 years. I do wholesaling. I'm flipping houses. I own rental properties, and I also teach and coach how to do real estate. And I'm doing it very successfully for the past few years. Actually, my students are very successful, and they are being buying real estate from me, and they also, I teach them, hold their hand, and I'm pretty much helping other people to become financially independent, not only for single family, but I'm also doing it with multifamily. So we do have a couple of properties here. And I have a property, actually a seller who is very motivated, and he's selling 7 units subject to. So if anybody's buying subject twos, I have a good apartment complex. No, it's actually 7 units, 7 houses that I can do an assignment on subject to. So today we're gonna learn how to do subject to, but before I do that, I wanna hear from you guys. I wanna know, are you muted? No, I'm not muted. You guys can hear me, right? Everybody, yes? Okay, perfect. So I just want to make sure you guys are here. If you don't have any experience doing investing, don't be shy, just put no experience and on the chat. I want to see how many people is here brand new. They haven't done any deals, little experience, knowing, okay, perfect. Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to have a lot of experience. It's okay. This is the training for you. I want to see how many people doesn't have no experience, so I can, according with that, teach, okay? So I am going to be teaching on how to buy properties from pre-foreclosures, okay? How to do it subject to the existing mortgage. So I've been doing this for the past 11 years, and I have done wholesaling. This is my niche, right? How to do assignment of contracts or find properties that are in a lot of distress, okay? So in real estate, we find properties or sellers that are in a lot of distress. So when we find these motivated sellers, our job as an investor is to help that seller to get rid of this property really quick. So what makes someone motivated, right? So that's a good question. What makes someone motivated? So that is when somebody's losing their home, or let's say they are behind mortgage payments. Nobody wants to be in that situation. That's the truth. Nobody wants to be behind mortgage payments. Nobody wants to be in a situation where they might lose their home, or have a fixer-upper and don't know what to do with this fixer-upper. So when I got started, I started with wholesaling. I didn't have any money to invest. I was a single mom, still are, but during that time, I was a single mom. I didn't have money. I had a credit card to invest into a training, and that was it. So I took the leap of faith, and I decided to invest in that training, and then going to a lot of networking events. And for some of you that are new, that is going to help you a lot to go to different networking events, talking to different investors, learn from other people, right, that are looking to do deals, or people who actually is looking for, to partner or investor. So I went to very short, I'm going to tell you my story. I went to a free event, just like you guys are. And then I saw another opportunity, how to do real estate with very little out of pocket, how to find a motivated seller, put the property under contract, and assign that contract for a fee. So, and by doing that, you can make 5, 10, 20, 30. I have made up to 100,000 in one single transaction doing an assignment of contract and doing wholesaling, okay? So it doesn't require too much money to find a property in distress. What you need to do is actually learn how to find those properties and how to talk to those sellers. I'm being partnering with Real Estate IQ for the longest time and doing this one training because that's what they do. They actually find those motivated sellers. They do is keep tracing, and the only thing you need to do is pick up the phone and call some of those people. So, purchasing real estate subject to the existing finance. This is a different thing than wholesaling, but you can assign a contract. If you put a house under contract and this property is going to a pre-foreclosure and you put it under contract, you can assign that contract for a fee. You still can make money with, you know, with subject to properties. And so the thing is, a lot of investors like me are looking for these deals, right? We are looking for these deals. And the reason why is because you don't have to get pre-qualified, right? With conventional or hard money. Hard money, number one, is good because you can do some flips, but it's expensive. I think everybody can agree with me, right, on that one, especially if you guys are experienced and have done some deals. You understand how hard it is to be paying those mortgages at some point, right? Especially if you have a lot of deals. Now, the whole thing about getting hard money is not so much. I mean, 12%, the regular rate that they gave you or give you is 12% interest rate. And it helps, right, to do one deal here and there, but the majority of the money is the actual lender, right, who actually keep that money because, or I mean, it's like a partnership, right? It's almost like splitting your deal 50-50 with a lender. So today you guys are gonna learn how to go after pre-foreclosures and how to make more money with these leads, right? With these motivated sellers, because obviously it's all about making the most profits. It's about you as an investor being able to make more money with these potential motivated sellers and these leads, right? And versus paying a lot of money and points and maybe high interest rate, which is nothing bad with that if you're gonna make 30, 50,000. I always look for deals that are gonna make at least $50,000 profit after paying my my holding costs, points, and realtor commissions. So that means the property has to be very discounted. So in order for you to do this, you have to do at least you know, you have to be able to you know, have $30,000 in profit, right? If you want to do a flip, because if not, then it's not worth the flip. Because you're gonna end up paying too much, and then what is the point of doing a flip? And number one, you have to find the good deal. You have to get a hard money loan, and then you have to go and flip this property, and it takes at least 2-3 months, all right, if not 4, to do a flip. It depends on the amount of repairs that you are going to do on these properties. So doing deals subject to the existing finance, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because you don't have to pay that, like I say, points. You just need to come in and perhaps put whatever is behind on the mortgage, because these people is in a foreclosure. So you have to pay whatever is behind. Let's say it's behind $5,000 or $10,000. So you have to pay that first in order for you to put the mortgage current, and then being able to flip this property, right? Put the deed in your name. But I'm gonna tell you more about this. We're gonna go through this presentation. I am not an attorney, okay? So you guys can do your own due diligence on everything that I'm going to teach you. So that's just a disclaimer. In this case, this is one study, right? So pre-foreclosure, this is a divorce, a couple that is being on or is going to get a divorce. So yes, we usually transfer the deed, but I'm gonna get to that at some point on this presentation and explain everything step by step. If you guys can take notes, that will be great, even though we are recording, and perhaps we can do something with that. But if you can take notes, that will be great. Yes, might be, I gotta ask Real Estate IQ if they can send us something, but I encourage you greatly to just take notes right now, okay? So pre-foreclosure, this couple, let's say, is in a divorce. This house is 2003, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 3,000 square footage house. The ARV of the property, what ARV stands for? ARV is after repair value. So the after repair value of this property is 240,000. The existing loan is 152. The repairs on this property is 16,000. So the equity or the profits are 72,000. Okay. So what happened is, so you see, if you take over the existing mortgage, obviously you're going to have to come with some money out of pocket to put the mortgage current on this situation. So if you don't have no money, right? Let's say you don't have no money, just like I started it, that I didn't have any money. How am I gonna make money with this deal? Let's say I run into this situation. Well, it will be as simple as finding another investor who will bid in the money to close and partner, right? I do a lot of partnerships. Do you prefer having 100% of zero or 50% of something, right? So 50% to me sounds right. If I am going to bring the deal and another investor brings the money. And trust me, there is a lot of investors looking for deals to do. So this is something that you can approach an investor and they might be able to say, yes, I want to do this deal with you. So I encourage you guys to find ways to make money. The other way that you can make money on a deal like this, if you don't have no money, is by assigning the contract, right? You put the house under contract or you get the deed in your name and then you deed it back to another investor for a fee. So those are things that you can do. You can make $10,000 easy on a project like this. If you find something like this, to assign the contract with the seller or deeding the property to you and then deeding the property to the next investor. And I know you guys have a lot of questions on this. So yes, you can have a JV agreement with somebody to do a deal like this. Like even a regular flip, let's say I am buying a property from a wholesaler and my company is a wholesaling company. I find properties in distress and I usually go and start doing some of these properties, right? I do some properties with other investors, not necessarily I have to have the money or, you know, as long as you bring the deal, you can have somebody finance that deal for you or partner with somebody with the money, like the liquidity to be able to do a deal. So there is JV, adventures, contracts, and there is all the kind of things to be able to do that. So yes, this is an example of a subject to, right? This is how it look like. I have flip properties subject to the existing finance, and I have done that, make 6 figures on a deal, on deals like this. So this is very profitable and it's very good to find, especially because you find them off market. You find them, you have to market the pre-foreclosure list, okay, in order for this to work. And in some cases right now, a lot of people is doing a skip tracing, right? But even going and knocking on some people's doors sometimes works. I mean, it depends on how you feel, if you feel comfortable doing something like that, but that works in a lot of cases. Just going and knocking on somebody's door and say, hey, you know, I want to buy your house. Are you interested? So these pre-foreclosure leads exist because so many reasons, right? Like somebody died, they don't have the income coming in anymore. They became very motivated. They have so many problems or something happened And then we have to, it's one of those things, right, that we have to go through changes in life, and then people needs help. Actually, these sellers are motivated, and you as an investor can help them to not lose the home. And I mean, why somebody will do that, right? Give you a deed on a property or deed the property to you. Number one, you have to build rapport for this with these people, right? And that is very important, that you build rapport, because the rapport comes from you being able they being able to trust you. They have to trust you, right? But when you talk to people, I don't know if you ever read that book. I always tell my students to read that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And so I recommend that book 100%, because that book has helped me a lot to be able to win contracts versus other people's offers, right? People comes to me instead of selling it to somebody else, even though I am not the greatest offer and I'm not giving the most money. They prefer doing business with me because they like me. I took the time to ask them questions like, what do you do for a living? How is your work? Do you like it? Compliment them if they're doing something or some kind of work, going to the house, seeing the house, and being, like looking at the good things about the house, and just compliment these sellers. So you can win a lot of contracts just by you focusing on building rapport with people. I know you guys are writing questions here on the chat, so let me see. How do you come up with the ARV? Okay, so we talk about JV agreements. You can actually get one online, Google one and get it. I mean, majority of the stuff I get is from online, but you can have somebody draw a JV agreement to an attorney, and they can prepare for you. What do you come out with the ARV? I usually run comps, right? So when you have a property, everything in real estate is about numbers. The ARV is the after repair value of a property. So it's a very secure investment. You can go by comps, like the last 3 months or 6 months is what determine on the sales, right? On this area, wherever the property is located, same year built or around the same year built, or about 10 years in between. You can go 3 months or 6 months and find out how much this property will be selling for if you will fix it, right? So there is an as-is value and there is an after repair value. So investors, we all go by the after repair value of a property. So we have to find a realtor can give you some comps on the to check what's the after repair value. But remember, these properties has to be fixed. The after repair value of the property has to be on properties that are fixed. So if you put a property that is a fixer upper and you see how much it is that is sold, and then you mix it with one that is fixed totally, it's not gonna work. You have to find properties that are totally, completely remodeled, and you need at least 2 to ensure that yes, these properties are selling for around this price. That's how you get the ARV, and you can get access to the MLS from a friend, from a realtor that you know, or you can and learn how to run comps. And if you want to learn how to run comps, you can go to YouTube. You can learn there. I teach how to do it in my trainings without having real estate license. And by the way, I'm gonna have a training on May on how to do wholesaling, how to find motivated sellers, how to put the properties under contract, and how to do the ARVs and all that. But I'll tell you all about it later once this training is done. So let's see, somebody is asking more questions. You have great solid contracts and amendments. Yes, I do have contracts and amendments that I have that I can perhaps just write out myself, like if I going to do a subject to deal, you can use the track contract. It's not like a different contract. You can use that one and you can put it under special provisions. You can put this property I'm buying, or you can put subject to the existing finance, and you can find a title company. So the title companies are like your best friends, right? You have to find a title company that is investor friendly, that is going to work with you, and they know how to do this type of deals. It's not like everybody knows how to do this type of deals. You cannot assume just because they say that they are investor friendly doesn't mean that they are going to know how to do these deals. You have to call them and find out and say, hey, I want to do a property, I want to take over the existing mortgage. So I want to find out if you can help me doing that type of deal. And if they say yes, then send in the contract. But you have to investigate first if they are familiar with this type of deals, because not everybody knows how to do them. Okay. So in terms of contract, you can use the track contract and just put the cash that you're going to bring to close is whatever is on that deal, whatever is behind, and whatever you negotiate with the seller that they are going to get. In some cases, they don't get anything. In some cases, they just get like $3,000, right? They just want to get rid of the problem and not having a foreclosure in their records. That's the reason why somebody will do this type of deals, because you, number one, you build rapport with them. Number two, you also the benefits, you can explain the benefits of doing this deal with you. Everybody is, what is there for me, right? Obviously, what is there for the seller? So what is there for the seller is that they're not going to show a foreclosure in their records, and it's going to help their credit immediately once you pay the mortgage and you put it current. So that's what is there for them. And so a lot of people is very concerned about getting a foreclosure in the records and stuff like that. So that will help them. And what if they don't want to do it long term? They just want to do it for a season, right? 6 months to a year. That's fine. You flip the house. So on these deals, you can get them. Some sellers will be okay to do it for the life of the loan, which is, let's say 20 years or 15 years more that you have to keep on paying the mortgage payments, right? So that is fine. You can do that during that time, 15 years, or, you know, paying if they are agreeing on that. But if not, then you just talk to them and say, hey, I am just gonna fix this property and sell it, and you know, it's gonna be a project that might take me 6 months. So that's what I have done in some cases, if they don't want to do long-term, hold this loan for a long term. Because remember, the deed is gonna be transferred to you, and then the loan is going to stay in their name. That's the trick about these foreclosures. Okay, you're taking over somebody's debt, or you know, you're taking over somebody's actually deed. The debt is going to stay in their name, so they have to be very aware of the situation and know what they are signing up for. In some cases, you can have the title company preparing a document that shows that they are okay with that. So that way they don't come back to you and try to sue you. Oh, I didn't know what I was doing, or whatever, or anything like that. It's very black and white. I'm taking over the existing mortgage for this period of time, and I am going to do this with the house. So this has to be talked. But yes, that's something that you can do. And let me see, there's other questions here. You guys are full of good questions. Oh my gosh, so amazing. Let's see. Is this deal how much the owner gets? So yeah, I mean, that's something very negotiable. Some people don't even want anything. They just want to get rid of the problem. In some cases, they will make one $3,000 or $5,000, you know, because they want to move and you offer moving expenses to them. So everything is negotiable. And remember, you're going to have to pay whatever is behind. So the numbers need to make sense. Once you pay whatever is behind, how much more equity the property has, right? So it's about numbers. So this is a business, so we gotta make sure the numbers make sense. In this case, the numbers make sense, right? But in some other cases, when you add whatever you're giving to the seller, if you're giving anything to the seller, and then you add the repairs, and then the ARV is not really where it needs to be, then you have to be able to check those numbers before you take over somebody existing mortgage, because everything is about their numbers. Now, what if you want to, let's say the numbers don't make sense, there is not too much room, because you're gonna put, let's say $10,000 you're gonna pay to the mortgage that is behind, and then you're gonna pay attorneys. The attorney paperwork and the title company shouldn't charge too much to transfer the deed to you. I did one for $100. And one time that I wanted somebody to do it on instead of me doing it, I paid $100. So it's not like a lot of money. And the only thing you need to do is calculate whatever you are, the mortgage is behind. And then you have to calculate also whatever is that you're gonna repair the property, whatever is the ARV. Just like a regular deal, you have to check. Usually investors, we all buy at 70%, right? 70% minus repairs makes a deal. So that's why you need to be looking. Now, if you are going to rent the property, if you're gonna rent the property, then it's a different thing, because you can check if you're paying on, you're taking over somebody existing mortgage and you are all in at 10,000, right? Let's say it was 7,000, they are behind, 3,000 is what you're giving to the seller, and then the property can be rented for 1,500, but your mortgage is only 1,000, then you have $500 profit every month. And that's what you need. And let's say there is not too much equity, maybe $10,000 in equity, or maybe there is no equity, but you're making $500, you're making $500 monthly, right? So that's what you need to check and calculate if you are going to take somebody existing mortgage. But I am going to get to the questions shortly, because I have to, I'm gonna explain some things here, okay? And then I'm gonna go to the questions. So what is a deed, right? The deed is the writing document that transfers the title or ownership. So that's the deed, okay? In real estate, we call it deed. So I think everybody familiar with that word, deed. And this is really what we need from the seller when we are taking over somebody's existing mortgage. Who owns the house is the person who owns the deed, okay? So that's what we need to remember. So the debt is gonna stay in their name. The deed is gonna get transferred to you. So you're taking somebody mortgage over, and you're gonna continue making the mortgage payments. So that is the key about doing a subject to deal. Okay, so warranty deed. So this is what guarantees the seller that you own clear title, right? And can be transferred to the other person. So this is that warranty deed is in real estate, which guarantee the seller owns clear title. So this can be done, again, everything can be done on a title company. If you are going to take over somebody existing mortgage, before you do, please do your due diligence. Check with a title company. Make sure that this property is doesn't have too many liens, because it could be that there is no equity, because let's say the seller owns 80,000, right? And then the property is worth 160, and then they have an IRS lien, or they have some other liens, let's say child support lien or something else, and then at the end is no equity left. You don't want to take over just because somebody tells you, oh, well, I only own 80,000, doesn't mean that that's the truth. You know, and I have learned this myself, and is you know, I am very I'm a Cancer, right? I don't know if you believe in science, but I am very nurturing, very you know, truth I trust everybody. And in this business, I have learned the very hard, right? I have learned the hard way to not trust what people is telling me, because somebody can tell you something and then can be totally opposite. So the first thing that you need to do when you're taking over somebody's existing mortgage, you have to make sure that this is the only lien they have, right? You don't want them to have a lot of liens. How you do that is just running a title search. That's what is gonna have to happen in order for you to know for sure how much is on this one property. Who does that? The title company. That's their job to check if this property is really with one or have multiple liens and all of that. So that's very important. Checking with the title company, doing a title search, making sure that you know what's the numbers on the property and if that deal makes sense. Just because somebody's giving you a house doesn't mean that you want it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I have rejected a lot of deals because they don't make sense to me, right? I have to run the numbers. I need to make sure that the ARV is correct. I need to make sure that my repairs are going to be in place. And then I am there to make money because I am an investor. So it doesn't make sense to take over anybody's mortgage just because they are giving me the house. No, because what I'm gonna do with the house if I cannot make money? If I have a house and somebody give it to me and then there is no equity and then I cannot make a rent income, then what is the point? What am I gonna do with the house? Unless you go live there, right? Because if no, you're gonna have a liability and it's gonna be an empty house that, yes, you might be able to put a tenant in there, but to continue paying the mortgage, but there is not gonna be no money for you to be made. And I don't know, but that if that makes sense, but we are here as investors to make money, not to lose money, okay? And if you have a house, let's say somebody did the property to you and it doesn't have no rental income, you cannot make any money monthly, and you cannot have equity on the property, then you are taking over this property and it's a liability, because what if the house is empty for 3 months? Who has to pay the mortgage? It's you, right? Who has to pay the insurance, the taxes? All of that's you. And if it's been vacant, you're losing money on instead of making money on that one deal. So numbers makes a lot of sense, makes the deal be a good deal or a bad deal. And even the same principle here, right, with multifamily and single family. You have to run the numbers. It has to make sense. Like I said before, I do have 7 units that I can potentially have somebody take over the existing mortgage. If you guys are looking for buying something like that, just let me know. I'm gonna put my information on the chats, my phone number and my email address, so you guys can reach out. But yes, it has to be, the numbers need to make sense. So on that one, 7 units, the interest rate is only 4%. So it's good. Now you have to come with some money out of pocket or partner with someone who has the money. Like I said before, you can do deals like that. But remember, you have to make sure that you are going to be able to make money on the deal, do your due diligence. So in that case, that deal, well, right now banks are charging 7%, 8% interest rate on multifamily. It's expensive. So if somebody has a 4% interest rate, the cash flow might be a little bit better if you buy it directly from the seller. So that's what we're trying to do here, right? Buying properties in distress. And in some cases, it's not so much that the mortgage is behind, it's just that they want to move on to different projects and they don't want to continue having this one property, maybe to move to bigger projects. And that's the case on that one, 7 units that I have that I'm talking to the seller. They want to go to bigger projects instead of having those 7 units. And everybody has their own reasons why to sell and do a subject to. So So the deed of trust is what secures the loan, right? So technically it's a paper that shows that you are going to pay this loan back. But remember, the seller is gonna have something with the bank or whoever they got the loan with, that is gonna be a deed of trust. So when you guys look for a deal and you're trying to take over the existing mortgage, the first thing that you need to ask the seller to send you is the statements. What exactly you're taking over? Is a 2% interest rate, 3% interest rate? What exactly you guys are taking over? That is like so important, right? It's like you need to make sure this information is black and white in front of your computer so you can run your numbers. Okay, I'm paying, let's say this seller has 10,000 behind. And remember what I told you, you trust people, but you have to verify, okay? Especially in real estate, everything is about numbers. It's either you make money or you lose money, right? So we want to have the seller send you a statement from the bank that shows how much is the loan amount, how much is the interest rate, how much they are behind. And so you can calculate, okay, I'm taking over $100,000. They are behind 10,000. My mortgage payments is a 2% interest rate. My mortgage payments are 1,000. I can rent this property for $1,600. I'm making $500 profit. Even $300 profit on a property is okay, as long as you're making some money, because at the end of the day, something can be broke on the property, right? So you need to some money to be able to fix that property. So those $300 that you're making, okay, the property is paying himself, but then those $300 you potentially can just put it on a savings account. And if something happened on the property you have it rented, you can fix that property with that profit that you're being collecting throughout the years, right? Or the year or whatever. But if you have a deal that doesn't make any money, it doesn't make sense. Just I have seen new investors who gets in a lot of problems because they get very excited and they want to take over somebody's existing mortgage. Well, I'm getting a house that is free. Nothing is free. You have to calculate your risk and you have to calculate your investing, and you have to be a good investor, right? So anyways, and if someday you cannot afford the mortgage payment and you didn't do it wisely, right, then how you continue? Let's say you didn't rent the property, how you gonna continue making the mortgage payment if you didn't have any plans on that property and enough to be able to cover the mortgage? So this is one of the things that the seller trusts you, right? They trust you because they put this mortgage in your name, or you took over the existing mortgage. So there has to be a little level of trust, and that's why I say be rapport with people, right? So they can trust you, so you do more real estate. But also you have to be responsible. You have to do it in a responsible way, where you know that if you for some reason have this property vacant, you're gonna still be able to make the mortgage payments, right? And so you have to calculate your risk and you have to calculate your numbers. So that's very, very important in real estate, period, right? This is a business and we wanna do it successfully without getting hurt and being able to make money. So technically, this is how like, for example, the promissory note is what is going to be something in writing that shows exactly how much you are promising to pay. But this is going to be also in place already. When you're taking somebody existing mortgage, they're going to have this. So you want to see all this paperwork, right? You want to make sure that this is something that you want to get into, right? So it's very important to pick up something that makes sense. So you have to make sure, okay, how much they pay a month, what is the interest rate? Like I said, I cannot even tell you enough to do this, because it's things that are going to help you to do your due diligence. and to make sure that this deal makes sense. Even if it's multifamily or single family, it's the same thing. I have been, giving properties. Like I told you, I'm not taking them. No, because I don't want to. It's because the numbers don't make sense. And people can tell me, I've been doing this for 11 years. So people can tell me, oh, this is a great deal. It's gonna be sold for 300,000. And I'm like, what? And then I look at my due diligence and I run my comps and I don't see 300,000. I see 200. This is why it's so important for you guys to do your own due diligence on properties. But what is subject to? Subject to is the process of purchasing real estate that is an existing mortgage in place, right? So that is what is subject to. There is a, a sale or convenience of sale, right, of ownership at closing, but the existing mortgage stays in place and is not going to be paid off at closing. So remember, this is you taking over somebody's mortgage. They have to be in a situation, they have to be on a pre-foreclosure, or they might be tired landlords or tired people. Or like I told you before, this guy that is selling the 7 units, he just won out because he wants to buy 100 units. And so whatever money he's getting out of this property, he's gonna reinvest it and put it to work in a different project. So that happens in this industry. This means the purchaser acquired property subject to the existing finance. Okay, so yes, you are going to take over the existing finance that is in place. Especially in today's market, you guys, this is so amazing. If you focus on getting these type of deals, I'm telling you, you're gonna be able to do very well on this industry, because right now, like I told you, hard money is very expensive. You have to not only pay 12%, but also you have to pay points. Majority of the money or part of the money that you are making on the flip is because you pay all these points, is not as much if you would take over somebody existing mortgage that maybe is a 4% interest rate, right? Or 6%. And I don't have nothing with, I use hard money all the time. So I don't have anything with hard money or private money. Right now, I'm using more private money than hard money. But what I'm saying is I don't have nothing with that. I think everybody has to make their money. But you as an investor, you want to make sure that you profit the most. And this is why going after pre-foreclosures makes sense and makes a lot of sense. If you are new on this and you go to a pre-foreclosure, I know there is, and you don't have the money to do the deal. I know there is a lot of investor who wants to do these deals. Partner with somebody or call me and I'll do the deal with you. I always partner with people. Like I say before, when I got started, it's 100% of nothing or 50% of something, right? So I am always doing deals like this. So please let me know if you have a deal right now, they're working, I can help you put it together, or if you guys want to partner with me on a deal. So it's also a great technique, right? When it's done correctly. So, it's an informal assumption or assume a loan without assuming it. So what is the difference between assuming the loan and doing a subject to? So when you assume the loan, you are talking to the banks and you are getting yourself pre-qualified, and the bank has to approve. Whoever is holding the loan has to approve that you are going to get pre-qualified, right? So you don't want to assume the loan. And so a lot of people call me and say, oh yeah, you're selling, you mean assumption, I'm gonna assume the loan? And I say, no, this is a subject to, means you're gonna take over the existing mortgage. It's totally different thing. The bank is not gonna qualify you. They're not gonna even know that this took place you can let them know that going forward, they can communicate with you on the property. You can even send a letter or whatever you want to. But as long as these mortgage are paid and you continue being responsible, making those mortgage payments, they're not gonna call the loan due. A lot of people is asking, well, what if they call the loan due? That happens to me once. I was doing a flip. This property was a property that it was somebody homestead, and the bank actually find out that she transferred the deed. So what happened? This, I bought it for a flip. So it was very minor fixing. So I fixed the property. I told the bank, or I told the owner to tell the bank that the property is being put for sale and they're gonna get their money. So it's not a big deal. Nobody's gonna go and I mean, it's just the only thing that you need to do is sell the property. We sold the property. We make 6 figures on that one deal, me and my partner. And so it was a success story. The sellers got rid of the property. We were able, the bank knew that some kind of weird thing happened. They didn't know exactly what happened because we transferred the deed to another, it was transferred to an entity, an LLC, and then they kind of find out, but this is not usually what happened on a subject to. It's not like in every deal, the sellers or the banks are going to know that you transferred the deed or something like that took place. It's just that happened in this bank. They actually find out after a month or so that we own the property, but we were almost done with the project, about to put it listed. And when she said to us that she got a letter from the bank, we told them to let them know that she's selling the property, that they're gonna get their money back and there is no problem. So what is the benefits of a subject to? Long-term finance in place, right? That is what is important. May require little to no money out of pocket, makes a good deal. Well, technically this is another way to purchase properties, to do flipping. And the good thing is that you can find these properties where they already paid 10 years on the loan, and then you are only left with 20 years, right? That will be a good benefit, that it increase the income, the equity on the property. So if they already paid 10 years, right, 20 years, and then you are left with 10 years more to pay, those are the best deals, obviously, because they are being paying the mortgage for a long time. And the spread, you're looking for the spread, right, on the equity. So yes, I am going to answer some questions, but let me drink some water. I see a lot of questions. All right, let's see. Ooh, wait, I have 34 questions here. Okay, let's see very quickly. All right. Let's see here. Yes, I offer one-on-one coaching, Eric. I'm a coach. I've been doing coaching for about 10 years. My students are very successful. I have 90% success rate, and the other 10 is because they didn't do the stuff that I'm telling, or they were too busy and they were not really focused. But yeah, we do close deals with my students. I have a 90-day program with my coaching, and I have a wholesaling training that is gonna come up on May. So I'm gonna give you a little bit, I'm gonna explain to you guys in a little bit what that is about. So if you guys have interest, you can book an appointment. It's a free coaching section with me, 30 minutes. Let's see, how do you get your investors? Ovi is asking how I get my investors. I get my investors. Wow, I'm being in the industry for a long time, right? And I have about 50,000 cash buyers in my buyers list. I used to have more, but then I realized some of them, they're open their emails, so I have to be cleaning my buyers list. But yeah, I do have a lot of investors in my buyers list because I'm doing a lot of wholesaling. So people comes to buy from my company, and then I put them consistently. I am collecting emails and investors. I do Facebook ads, I do the Facebook groups, I do Craigslist ads, I go to networking events and I collect business cards, emails. I'm always in the collecting of business cards and emails and networking. If you guys are new in this industry, I encourage you to go to every networking event. That's how I raise private money. I find private lenders in there. I find new business partners, joint ventures, sellers, people who wants to sell their property. So going to networking events is very good for people who actually is starting and for you to get investors. But even doing Craigslist ads, if you want to get leads, that's another way to get investors. But yeah, it also, if you have a deal and you want to partner with me, I'm here to partner with you. If you have a wholesale deal or you want to flip a house and you have a good deal, I'm looking for flips also. You learn cons by practicing searching on the MLS. Yes, Mark, the best way to do comps is going to the MLS. Yes, you need to go to the MLS because is where you can see the sales, what it took place. So if you don't have access to the MLS, maybe you wanna network with or your mission coming up here is to find a realtor that will perhaps give you the access in exchange of you helping paying the year membership. Or if you remember that book that I told you, How to Win Friends and Influence People, if you go to and you meet an realtor, this is what it has helped me, guys. That book has helped me a lot, and my personality, being able to approach people in a way that they like it. They actually, when I'm asking for something, people usually do it and give it to me because I am nice to them. Like, I don't know, it's like they have to like you and they can give you the access. So, but yes, you have to try to do it from the MLS, get it from another realtor or another person so you can have the access to the MLS. How to find subject to deals? Anyone hang hold, want to get one to try out? So yes, you can do this by buying the leads. Like Real Estate IQ is gonna talk and just a little bit about how they actually provide leads for motivated sellers and pre-foreclosures. There is this is also public data. You can get it public with whoever is going to a pre-foreclosure. You can get the pre-foreclosure list and also get it is public data. Okay. What is the process of subject to finding pre-foreclosures property to closing? Yes, so technically, yes, you're gonna have to find the property that is going to a pre-foreclosure and is gonna be closed. Like I said before, you have to approach the seller. How you approach the seller is by telling them you wanna buy the property from them, and that technique is taking over the existing mortgage. And you can just tell them, hey, what is there for the seller, right? Is obviously you have to talk about what is there for the seller. What is there for the seller is not going to a foreclosure, being able to, you help them to put this mortgage current. So if you approach me in a way that you are going to help me, can I say no to you? I mean, of course not, because I need help, right? So that's the thing about doing these pre-foreclosures or going to foreclosures. you are going to be actually the hero, the investor who's going to come and help them put the mortgage current. In exchange, you also want something, obviously, but you know, you want the deed, and you want to flip the property, or maybe renting it for you know, take over the lead. If they are okay for you taking over the lead, the deed, and for a long time, you can do that. And so yes, so that's what title company do you recommend? I being doing subject tos with pattern title. I can recommend that one. Title company is in Galleria. So that one, but there is a lot of title companies that can do this. I think Post Oak Title or somebody like that. I did one deal. I think it was Post Oak Title. But there is so many title companies in Houston that are investor friendly and are familiar with subject tos. So you just need to call them and find out. So yeah, like I say, there is a lot of title companies that you can work with. The trade contract is if you are in Texas, right? I don't know what contract you will use if you are in New York or a different state, but here in Texas, you will use the trade contract, and under special provisions, you can put, I am buying or subject to the existing mortgage. You call the title company, send them the contract, but you let them know that this is, they don't have to contact the lender. They are only going to transfer the deed to you, and you're gonna pay the whatever is behind, so they can help you. Okay. Can you post your contact? And if yes, I am my contact information, I am going to put it right here. And so you guys can reach out. Okay, there is my contact right there. I don't know if I answer, but there is so many questions. You guys are amazing. You guys are paying attention. I like that. So yes, we have different title companies and different events. Mark, if you want to reach out to me, send me a text for the 7 units. I can give you more information on that. Can you recommend a lawyer that handle this type of subject to contracts transactions? Remember, these lawyers are located in the title companies, right? So in order for you to reach out to a lawyer, you have to reach out. The title company is the best way to do these transactions. You don't have to, you don't want to just hire an attorney to do the paperwork, because you need to make sure that these paperwork are, the title is clear. There is not too many links on the property, that you really are going to, you have to do a title search. My recommendation, if you do a title search, the title company is going to charge you $100. If you send them a contract, then they might not charge you anything for opening title, and they are still going to show you a title commitment that shows if the property, how many links and everything. So maybe open title with the title company and let them do their research and make sure that you're taking over something. You don't just want to transfer the deed to you without knowing what you're getting into, right? So getting in an attorney, I will always go through the title company. They are the one who can prepare the deed of trust, the transfer of deed, and the quick transfer of deed and all that. Okay, so you can do that with them. What's the difference between hard money and private money as far as our, okay. So what's the private money is just a person, like somebody with money, like they have it on their 401k. This person has money maybe sitting in the bank, they have line of credits, and let's say you ask me for a loan or something like that. I'm let's say I'm a private investor, and I say to you, well, you know, it's just easy to work with a private lender versus a hard money company. The easiness comes with being able to, it's a cash transaction. They just need to move money around, right? If you're closing with a private lender. So I am being getting private lenders from my buyers list and other networking events. I talk to people, so they actually, like I say, trust me because they like the way that I am. They know I have experience. So I tell them, hey, your money is gonna be secure. It's gonna be, you know, you're only gonna lend me 70% on this deal, and I can present comps to the private lender, and I can show them the potential on the deal, how much I'm buying it for. And so that's private money. It's easy. It's just an email sending that to another person, say, hey, you know, can you do this loan? And they say, yeah, sure, I can, or no, I cannot, or whatever. Versus the hard money company has to be doing more due diligence. They have to send an appraisal to check what's the after repair value of the property. You have to send them in a scope of work and pay for an appraisal and pay for an application. And it's more like institutional money versus somebody lending you the money. That's the difference between hard money and private money. So let's see, I want to partner, how to find partners and what is the risk? Well, if you want to partner, you have to bring something to the table. What are you bringing to the table? Are you bringing a deal, or are you going to bring the money? So that's the thing. I have deals, so I look for partners who bring the money, right? So that's the thing. You have to bring something to the table in order for you to be able, or somebody to want to partner with you. That's the first thing. How you find the partners? Like I say, you can go to networking events, you can talk to people, you can post it on Facebook. You can, that's how I find, you know, buyers for my properties. I find partners and everything, because I tell people, hey, I have this deal, and you don't have to give all the explanations. You can just put certain language on Facebook, for example, or Instagram, and say, hey, I have this deal. I want to find a partner. Anybody willing to partner with me on this deal, right? But you have to have something. Or you can say, hey, I want to partner on a flip. Anybody has a deal, let me know if you have the money. So it's either you have the money or you have the deal. So someone will be there to partner with you. Investors lately has been saying the banks are involving due on sale costs now. No, this is something that is in every deed of trust or any promissory note. It's not now, it's always been there, that due on sale cost. It's always been there. So this is why you have to do this very, you know, like, for example, a lot of people, you know, that are doing this business and they do subject tos, you know, they like to do like a trust. They want to change, let's say the address of the property is 123 Dryad, right? 123 Dryad. So this property is, the owner is, let's say it's Marilyn Phipps. I am the owner. So I can put 123 trust of the open a trust. Who owns the trust is you, right? But nobody really knows who owns the trust. You can be doing stuff like that to put the somebody's deed in your name. You can do like Marilyn Phipps trust. You can call it Marilyn's trust, right? Or 123 Dryad trust, and the same address of the property that you're changing. That's another way to do it, instead of you putting it on your LLC or putting it on your name. So, but yeah, there is a possibility that could happen, but it's not like always that happens. It could happen like you're doing like deals, a lot of deals. Obviously one is gonna happen with one, right? So but it's not like always the case. Like the people who works in the banks, and I don't know how many people in this audience is working in the banks, but they're not constantly checking if the deeds are in the person who bought the property, or checking stuff like that. They're not really going that far out. If they do go that far out, I think that one lady that I did the flip, that we flip it and they find out is because she stopped making the payments, and then they were trying to collect from her and doing a foreclosure. I don't know, it was like, I don't know, and then we pay it, and then I don't know how, but in those lines, these people just got to find out that we did the transfer of deed. But that doesn't really happen often. You know, it's like saying, well, you know, all the deals are gonna go sour. Real estate doesn't work. It's not true. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have from 10 deals they're gonna do, maybe 2 of them are gonna go sour, and then you're not gonna make any money. But you make money on 8 deals, so who cares, right? Like if you are making money on all of these deals and 2 doesn't make you money, but you make money on 8, it's still good at the end of the day. So it's the same thing with this. Let's see, you always try to negotiate your no matter what the profit margin. So yes, Mark, you always try to negotiate with the seller and see what is the least they can do, because obviously you want to make the more profit, but you want to be conservative. Remember, you're going to have to pay whatever is behind and then repair the property. Those are your out-of-pocket expenses, right? Then you're going to have to make mortgage payments after you put the property in your name. The difference between deed and title is the same. There is no difference. I mean, I own the title and I own the deed of the property. This is the same. So pretty much is the same concept. You must always make certain have good contracts and always negotiated profit margin. Yes. So let me see if anybody have any other questions here. I think I answered all of your questions. Who pre-foreclosure until it is in foreclosure? Can you contact a seller who is in pre-foreclosure, or do you have to wait until the foreclosure? So Patricia is asking if you contact the seller before is the foreclosure on a pre-foreclosure. And yes, the reason we're doing it on the pre-foreclosure before the auction takes place is because after the foreclosure, the bank is gonna own the property. So there is no negotiation to be done. It's easier to work with the owner than working with the bank. So who owns the property after a foreclosure takes place is the bank. It's not the owner anymore. And you know, I gotta teach a class how to work with banks, but banks are really hard. They don't really want to lose money on their properties. So you know, when I go and I teach my class on how to do wholesaling, and actually that class is coming in May. If you guys are, I'm gonna show you in a little bit about that. But I never tell my students to go after after foreclosures. And the answer, the question, the thing is because the foreclosures, banks are tricky to work with. Some of them, they want to see the liquid funds in your bank in order for you to buy it cash. They don't really do hard money if it's a big bank, and they don't really are very negotiable on prices. So working directly with banks is kind of sucks. And then they choose their title company. They has their own guidelines that you have to work with, and they're not that negotiable. So because they don't want to lose more money, they took a loss when they did a foreclosure. So for a bank, it's very bad going to the foreclosure process. They do not want to do that. So when they do it, they don't want to lose. They have to recoup the money that they put into this foreclosure. Like they have to pay attorneys, this and that, and then they have a dead asset. It's a liability in their records, and so they don't want to lose any more money. So dealing with banks sucks. You have to deal with the seller directly. That's the best way to do these deals. So you said that, oh, you couldn't see my information. Maybe Maria or somebody from real estate, you can post my information in there. I don't know why I share it, but It's not sharing to everybody, I don't think. Only with the panelists. Oh, I gotta change it here. Okay, I got it. I'm gonna change it. Thank you for letting me know. And so you can also go to Marilyn Phipps 123. No, M Phipps 123 is my Instagram, and Marilyn Phipps is my Facebook. I can't really add you on my Facebook because I have 5,000 friends, but you can follow me on Facebook. 281-806-9743. This is my cellular phone, and I'm gonna put my email, Marilyn at sucasa-usa.com. So yes, that's the benefits of doing this type of deals. Okay, so who and why? This has to be somebody that is very motivated, extremely motivated, right? A seller who really needs to get rid of the property, seller who is behind payments, facing a foreclosure. So this type of people is the people, somebody who is getting a divorce, has financial distress, right? The rental game gone bad. This is the people that are willing to do this type of deals. Okay. So so far, anybody has any questions? I think you guys are full of amazing information, actually questions over here. I am going to show you here really quick. This is my website. When I started it, I show you this is my website. If you go click here to click an appointment, this is my calendar. And so you can click an appointment. I'm open these days here. So actually, I don't have, I think I have an appointment, but you can just click and set it up. And then it's gonna give you a Zoom link immediately once you set it up. So we can do a free coaching with you. I can sit down with you if you have a deal that you're working with or something that you want to do. I also have available properties over here if you want to check what we have available. Most of them are wholesale deals, and I do have other kind of deals in there. Students' testimonies, you can check me, my students. I have been blessed to be able to help a lot of people doing deals and making money with real estate. On this case, this workshop is going to start in May, is how to wholesale houses. I teach how to find the deals, how to put it under contract. I give you contracts, assignment of contracts. I help you to find the deals and put it. And during this 4-week challenge, I actually do deals with my students, and people is making money with me. We put it under contract, and then we sell it to my buyers. We partner on these deals. So wholesaling training is going to start also in May, and you can go all the way here, down here in my website, sucasa-usa.com. Click on wholesaling training, and you're gonna see more about the training, which is May 4, 11 to 28. Is gonna be online, and it's from 7 to 8:30 p.m. If you want more information about this training, you can go here. But I cover everything, and a lot of people do deals with me within those 4 weeks of training. Okay, we do. I teach how to find the wholesale deals from your computer without having to spend thousands of dollars on marketing. You know, finding deals on the MLS off market. Also, how to quickly determine the value of these deals, estimate repairs, fill out contracts, how to assign the contracts, how to negotiate with listing agents. All of this, I do it, and it's not even expensive. This actually, with the results that I'm getting, I should charge a lot more. This 4 weeks training is only $897, but I am doing deals with students. So let me see. I see that you guys are posting more questions over here. We have more. What if the website Okay, I'm gonna post it right here so you can check it out. It's sucasa-usa.com. For more information, I have testimonials. I have a link there for the training. What else? You have subject to deals in Dallas. I don't work in Dallas area. I think I'm gonna let you guys bring us a deal from Dallas. I actually work, my niche is Houston and I work around Houston. So I go as far as Conroe, I do Humboldt, I live in Sugarland. So it's around Houston, Missouri City, Galveston. I will do deals anywhere on Houston and around Houston. I don't like to go that wide because it's like just with whatever I have here in Houston, I get busy. But you guys, if you have any deals that you want me to help you with, this is what I'm here for. You know, I'm recruiting partners. I am actually going to put this video over here really quick so you guys can see what I'm doing for people here in Houston and actually other states.
I'm a full-time real estate investor. I have a coaching program that teaches people how to find properties, renovate them, and turn them into really cool Airbnbs. I have a number of multifamily Airbnb properties, and I also manage other properties as well. Prior to working with Marilyn, I really didn't know how to get started in real estate. I didn't know what was the right direction to go, what was a good deal, how to find properties. And so I needed somebody to really hold my hand and coach me in finding good deals and analyzing them and doing really great investments. I chose Marilyn as my coach because I knew she was out there doing deals. I would get wholesale leads from her all the time. So I knew she was a real deal maker and she was a trusted name within the community here. So I wanted somebody who was a real deal maker and who I could trust to teach me the right way to invest in real estate. I knew working with Marilyn would let me get the one-on-one coaching that I needed, the hand-holding to be able to walk me through my first few deals, to really understand the process and to make sure that I wouldn't get myself in trouble with a bad deal. Working with Marilyn helped me to understand what was a good deal, which helped me immediately get a few wholesale deals under my belt. From there, I started to really look at buying and keeping properties, start building wealth and growing a portfolio of rental properties. So from that education, I really was able to get started on understanding what's a good deal, which then allowed me to go and start buying and owning properties, which today I own multiple multifamily properties, commercial properties, and I've really grown a business of steady cash flow coming in from all my rentals. Being able to become a full-time real estate investor has allowed me to really fulfill my life's dream of living life on my terms, getting time back, being able to do the things that I want to do, travel, spend time with family, really make the most of this one opportunity we have in this world. And so for that, I'm ever so grateful for being able to learn how to build this business, work with Marilyn, and really be able to achieve my dreams. Had I not done Marilyn's program, I really would just be stuck in the corporate grind like a lot of people, not knowing how to invest in real estate, doing my day-to-day activities with my job, and really not doing anything to build financial freedom and secure the future for myself and for all my future generations. So not taking action, not signing up for mentorship is not going to allow you to make any major changes in your life to be able to kind of change the trajectory of your future and your future outcome. One of the most important things that mentorship can do for you is help you really fast track your goals. If you don't hire a mentor, you're going to be learning from the school of hard knocks, which can be even more expensive in the long run. But having the right mentor and having somebody show you how to do things the right way from the beginning will allow you to get off to a good start and become successful right out of the gate instead of having to learn from a lot of mistakes.
All right. So yes, Ehab is being very successful. He's still doing deals and I'm so proud of him. He actually left his $250,000 paid job to do real estate full time and he's doing very well. So I have a question from one of you. It says, Lana is asking, why will people in distress resign the loan and don't sell the property on the market for top money? That's a great question. These properties are they are time sensitive, okay? These properties are very like the sellers has to be very motivated. Like, for example, nobody wants to lose their home, okay? Nobody. So majority of these people that we get on subject twos, they don't really think that they are going to lose their home. They still have hope. You know, in some cases, they think that they might be able to get a loan, or they might be able to talk to the bank or something. So when you see, you know, you can even drive by these properties and see if they're still living on the home. Some of them already made that decision that, yes, it's going to be a home that is going to be in a foreclosure and they have to move out. So some of them move out before the foreclosure takes place. And actually, those are the best ones, the ones that already make that conscious decision that this is not going to work for them and they are going to have to lose the house. Because when you find these people, you can do a skip trace, you can do a people search. There is a website called People Search, so you can find them and call them, or you can go to the neighbors and ask them, do you have the contact information from your neighbor? I want to talk to them. I want to reach out. I want to buy the house, right? So these people, is majority of the people that goes to foreclosure is in denial that they are actually losing their home, because nobody wants to lose their home. So they don't really go and put it on the market. That's one of the reasons why these properties are not in the market for top dollars. Yeah, what it makes sense for you or for me will be, well, yeah, why they don't put it? I will put it on the market, right? But it's being in that situation is different, because you are thinking that you're going to be able to pay those mortgages. That the seller, the mindset of the seller is, no, I'm going to fix this problem. I'm not going to lose the house. But they do end up losing it because they don't have the resources to fix it, to fix that problem. That's one of the reasons. The other reason is that some of these properties, they don't have enough equity, right? So they don't have too much equity to be able to pay a realtor, and they are behind for a reason. So some of them, they do have some equity to be able to pay the realtor, but some others don't. So some of these cases, majority of the cases that we are taking over the existing mortgage is because, number one, they didn't do anything before getting in a really bad situation, and they are losing their house, and the auction is taking place, and they don't know what to do. They are frustrated. They don't want to leave their home, and they end up losing the home. In other cases is because they're not, they don't have enough equity to be able to sell the house and get the realtor paid. So there is so many cases why they don't put it on the market. Okay. I hope that answered that question, because I know that you was asking me, yes, too much time had gone by, and Mark is right. They couldn't, they're gonna have to lose the house. They're gonna repossess, but then too much time behind, and then they didn't do. It's like, I don't know how, but it's when you are worried, you are in that situation, and you don't have the income and you don't have the resources, but you still have hope that this is gonna get better, and then next month is coming again, and then you're still hoping again that this is gonna get better. So it's every time you think more about it, and you're like, yes, it's gonna be even better and better. So anyway, this is why people loses their home in foreclosures, okay, or pre-foreclosures. Foreclosure, no credit for 10 years, but Stan won't be able to buy a house. So this is another thing. This is Sterna, no, it's actually Julian, who's telling about the foreclosure. Yes, if a house goes in a foreclosure, actually it's gonna be in the records, and it's gonna be there in their credit for about 10 years, right? It's like doing bankruptcy. It goes to their credit for about 7 years or so. So it's the same thing for our foreclosures. So they are in fear of not being able to buy a house again, or a car or stuff like that. Even though, you know, you still can buy a house. You can buy a house owner finance, but the problem is a lot of people don't have the education. Not everybody wakes up on a Saturday at 9 o'clock, right? Like you guys did, to take these trainings. Like, this is the difference between people who's educated and people who's not educated, right? So at the end of the day, they lose their home because they don't know how to fix that problem. You do. You are the one who's getting educated. You are the investor. You are the one who actually is going to be able to fix that problem. How you build your buyers list in a pre-foreclosure? How do you build your list for pre-foreclosure? Yeah, I told you before, you guys can go and buy those leads. These pre-foreclosure lists can be, these foreclosures lists can be actually purchased, right? There's different companies like Real Estate IQ, for example. They sell the pre-foreclosure list, and they're gonna talk about it in a little bit, how you guys can buy those leads from them. But yes, you can buy the leads, or this is public data, and you can also find the leads. Now, obviously, I recommend to buy it because it's like, who's gonna go and try to find the pre-foreclosure list, right? But it's public data. You can do that as well, okay? See, yes, you can get it for the county or law firms handling foreclosure list. Yeah, you can get it. It's public. This information, who's going to a foreclosure, is public data. I don't know how to get it because I'm being spoiled rotten, and I'm getting it from Real Estate IQ. So I don't know how to actually get it, but I'm gonna put you another testimony here.
I'm Catherine Pinto. I'm 18 years old, and I was able to start real estate investing at the age of 16 years old, which I was able to close 9 deals. And I'm also working on my first flip property, and I also am a newly licensed holder. What motivated me to start real estate investing was, I remember growing up, we didn't have the best things. And I do remember watching my mom struggle as a single mother of 2 children. She was working 3 jobs, and I was able to see her flip her life around and be able to become a business owner, create her own schedule, and to be able to travel. And that's something that influenced me and encouraged me, because I'm money driven, but I most definitely didn't want to go get a job. So that's when I first started real estate investing. Working with my mom made it super effective for me to be able to close so many deals from the ages from 16 to 18, because obviously she's been in business for more than 10 years. And so she's very knowledgeable. Any question that I have, she's able to answer with ease. She's very easy to communicate with, and she's also very flexible. The outcome of my mother's teaching was I was able to gain extreme confidence in the real estate business, as I've seen it since I was little to now, where I'm applying it into my life. And I know that you can make a living off of this. And also I've set myself at very high standards just with implementing real estate into my life. I believe I would be definitely working a 9-to-5 job and probably not knowing what I would want to do in life. Also, I wouldn't be able to have my LLC at the age of 18, and also closing 9 wholesale deals from the age of 16 to 18, which gave me the opportunity and the advantage to really thrive. I would definitely say that in life, you have to take risks, and it's even better when you have a mentor that's there and able to hold your hand throughout the whole process, which you know she has results and also her students have results. If you don't go ahead and take the leap of faith and just move forward, you're going to be stuck regretting later on in life, wishing that you would have took the opportunity that you had with such an amazing mentor.
And of course, I'm super proud of her. She's such a beautiful kid. Yeah, she actually is 19. She's 19 and she's a license holder. She's a realtor. And so she's doing that. So you guys take a leap of faith with me on the 4-week challenge starting in May. If you want to get registered for this training, just text me. I already gave you my phone number in there. With the subject twos, if you have any kind of question, let me know. Just text me. I already give you my email and also my phone number. If you're gonna send me an email, can you please text me as well? Let me know that you're sending an email, because sometimes I don't know until you guys notify me on a text. So thank you so much. I'm gonna have Maria and Real Estate IQ. Unless you guys have any more questions about subject twos, I'm gonna have Real Estate IQ coming up here right now and giving you the information on how to buy these leads on pre-foreclosures, okay? How much is my mentorship program? I like for you guys to book an appointment so I can tell you all about it. All you need to do is go to my website, sucasa-usa.com, and schedule just here in my website. You're gonna see this. It says book an appointment, and you're gonna come here. I'm gonna show you exactly what I can do for you, because I don't like to just give prices. I have different coaching programs. I have my wholesaling and subject to program. I do have one that covers wholesaling subject to, flipping and buying and hold. And I have one that covers all of this and also multifamily. So if you wanna find out more about pricing, I suggest you to book an appointment with me for next week so we can sit down one-on-one in the computer or in person and we can talk about it. But thank you so much, guys. Maria, are you ready? Real Estate IQ, are you guys ready? I don't think they're there. So we have a little bit more time, I guess. Anybody has any more questions, you guys? I think I forgot to tell you something about how to do, since they're not there, let me tell you about the insurance. When you are getting a deed in your name, also make sure to change the insurance and add you gotta get a power of attorney. I forgot to say that. You gotta get a power of attorney from the seller to be able to talk to the bank in their behalf, and also to the insurance company, because if something happened to that one property, you want to make sure that you are covered, right? That all your basics are covered. And so you want to make sure that you are added to the insurance. So if you have a power of attorney, you can call the insurance company, you can call the bank, and everything is okay for you to deal with directly with the insurance company and get a check, or make sure that if something happened, you have enough coverage on that one property. So that's important, right? If you're taking over somebody's existing mortgage. And so the insurance is very, very important. And what else? I think being able to call and do anything that you need to do with the bank, get statements or anything like that. And you have to notify the bank that going forward, you want them to reach out to you, because you have this power of attorney, and that gives you the power to talk to in behalf of the seller. So this is very important, that power of attorney. I almost forgot about it. It's very important to get it. So you can do any diligence or anything that you need to do in the behalf of the seller. Okay. What happens? What happens if you transfer the deed of trust and then the owner and on going to bankruptcy, will you lose the property? This is Jeffrey asking that question. That's a good question. If you go to bankruptcy, this property doesn't have to be added on the bankruptcy. Like usually the judge will let you keep your homestead. Okay, so you can talk to the seller if that will be the case. If you think that they might consider in doing a foreclosure, a bankruptcy, you have to make sure that this property is protected if you are invested on the property, right? You want to make sure you have these conversations with the owner, and you want to make sure that this property is not going to go. So just because you're doing a bankruptcy doesn't mean that you're going to lose your house, right? So a bankruptcy can be done just for the credit cards or for the company, right? But you don't have to include the property. And so that will be with a bankruptcy attorney to make sure, or the seller to make sure they don't include the property because you are invested on that property, if that makes sense. Does the power of attorney cause some banks to look further and maybe find out did ownership change? Well, not really. I like this power of attorney is, let me explain this to you. For example, you have a car, right? And you don't want it. And you tell your brother, I am going to transfer the deed to you, keep on doing the mortgage or something like that. So technically that can happen also in a house, right? So it doesn't create red flags because the bank, the people who you're dealing with in the bank, they don't make too much money. They don't really care, So in some cases, they're just there to answer the calls and do some paperwork, but they don't really pay attention to that. Like I say, there is not like a lot of people calling the loan due. If they are getting money, they are putting the mortgage current and all of that, they're not gonna just call the loan due. Calling the loan due is bad for the bank. Going to a foreclosure because it was a transfer of deed or happen is not very common because they don't want a foreclosure in the records. The foreclosure is a negative debt. It's super bad for the banks to go to a foreclosure process. So they don't want to do that. As long as you're making the payments on the loan, they're not really going to be doing too much investigation. So I just gonna say, don't worry about that. But the other thing, if you do worry about it, put a trust, and the trust can be done by anybody. I have a trust in my inbox that I can fill out and just do it. But you can have an attorney doing a trust that if you go to a title company, right? And you tell them, hey, I'm taking over this property existing mortgage. Can you please do a trust? The name of the trust is gonna be Marilyn's Trust. And that's it. The owner of the trust is you. So whatever is going to appear on the tax records is going to be Marilyn's Trust, which is the owner's and the seller's name. So that can be a little bit more to avoid any questions, oh, who owns this property, instead of having it on your LLC. But that paperwork, the trust can be more to be able. I have a friend that has purchased 50, if no more at this point, I think maybe 100. She has 100 properties subject to, and everything she does is subject to. And so she don't have any problem. She's being putting it on trust, and that's the way that she's been doing it. So like I say, it's very unlikely for a bank to ask for the, do a foreclosure because the deed was transferred. Let's see. So the bank can foreclose against the trust? Yes. I mean, obviously, if whoever owns the property, right, is gonna show up on the deed. The only thing that you are doing when you put it on a trust is that they don't know who owns that trust. As the bank is concerned, they change it to the trust, and thus you can talk to the seller and say, hey, if the bank question about the change of title, I mean, it can be her trust, right? Like nobody really knows who owns the trust when you go to the tax records, and you gotta investigate a little deeper to actually being able to find out who owns the trust. And like I say, these people don't take those really steps to try to do that, because it's a bad reputation. Like doing a foreclosure, nobody wants to do a foreclosure. I promise you, as long as you're making the mortgage payment, nobody wants to go through that process, because it's a bad debt for the bank. So I won't really worry too much about that. So the taxes for trust and LLC are similar. Yes, it is. Actually, it's better to buy properties on trust, to be honest, because that way nobody knows who owns the property. And so it's just much better to do it on trust. If you have an LLC, there is ways to find out who owns the LLC. Okay, so the LLC will get you exposed to, they can know that you have 20 properties in one LLC. Oh, so this person has money. Look, they own 20 properties in one LLC. And if somebody wants to sue you, right? Then something happened and they go check your LLC and you have all of these properties, then they're gonna try to go after you because you own all of these properties on that one LLC. So my recommendation is always try to, if possible, even do a trust to buy the properties. If you're gonna do a flip here and there, you can have an LLC, that's not a problem. I'm talking about more if you're gonna hold the property for a long time. And even if you're gonna do a subject to, right? And you are going to flip that subject to, don't worry about it. Like, I won't even worry about it because it's a flip. But if you're gonna hold it for 20 years, 30, or your plan is to hold that property, then do a trust. That's the best advice that I can tell you is just do a trust. That way you're not exposed. Nobody knows who owns the trust, and it's just private. It's something actually in your house, or maybe can be with your attorney, that says that you are the owner of the trust and your family members. You can have all your kids, your husband, or whatever in that trust, and that's it. When it's time to sell it, then you can come out and sell it because you own the trust. The cost between the trust and the LLC, an attorney will, it's almost the same price, I think, because I mean, if you go and you do your LLC directly, and you do it yourself without having to hire anybody, I think it costs like $300. But honestly, I don't know how to do that. I haven't done it myself, so I don't think it's actually difficult. But you can perhaps go ahead and do it. Probably the trust might be a little bit less expensive than an LLC, but that's a question from an attorney. You have to check those things. I have a question here. Do you do a new trust or LLC in each state where you have the property? So the question is, do you do a new trust or LLC in each state where you have the property? Okay, so I am personally not buying any properties in different states. And that the reason why, if I gonna give you an advice, it's gonna be like, if you're gonna go and buy a property in a different state, it's gonna be because you're gonna have a team on that state. You're gonna have somebody that you can trust that is going to go check those properties whenever something goes sour. So that means you're gonna have a contractor or a handyman to be able to manage that property when you're not there, right? So I don't personally agree on doing that at this point in my life, because I talked to somebody that is, you know, my mentor, and he told me one time that it's so hard to manage properties in different states if you're going to hold them. So I will say that it's easy to have the properties where you live in that state that you live, but if you, because maybe that state is too expensive and you cannot find good deals or whatever, and you're trying to buy properties in that other state because of that, I will say, okay, Texas is the best state to buy and flip properties and hold, because here the properties appreciate every year about 3%. So it's, or more. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, my properties have been appreciating every year, and it's just amazing. Actually, the minute you buy it, the sooner you buy it, the more, the faster you become wealthy, right? So yes, I will say that you need to have, if you, that's the reason why buying in another state, then yes, do it, but you have to make sure that you build a team on that state that actually gets that you can call when the AC runs out. Or, and you know, I don't know why that happens every time the AC runs out is on the holidays. I don't know why. Don't ask me why, but it's always in Thanksgiving that the AC, like a tenant is gonna call you and say, hey, my AC is not working. You're like, damn, they can really be more appropriate. Anyway, it always happens in the more inappropriate time. So you have to make sure that you have someone in that state that can go and get that fixed as soon as possible. Because imagine having a tenant without AC on Thanksgiving, right? It's kind of suck. It's you don't want to do that. So yeah, so anyways, I think that is one of the reasons. So yeah, the answer of the question is absolutely. You can have an LLC or a trust in every state if that's what you want to do. Yeah, you know, the AC in Texas is like one of those things that you don't wanna not have, or even that, I mean, it's one of those things, right? But yeah, my point is, try to, if you're gonna manage a lot of properties, try to have it where you have a team of people that you can count with to check anything, because if not, it's a little bit messy. But yeah, most definitely you can invest in different states and have different LLCs on each state. You have to check with the attorneys and make sure. Is a Real Estate IQ here now? Anybody from Real Estate IQ, so they can
Yes.
Maria? Okay.
Yes, Marilyn.
Okay, awesome. So guys, thank you so much for having me and being on a Saturday. You guys are successful for doing this. I do these trainings every month with Real Estate IQ. So you guys are gonna be added to my buyers list after this event. And so you guys are gonna receive notification from Sukasa. Make sure to check your junk mail, because sometimes it goes to junk until actually comes to your inbox. You have to actually add me in your inbox in order for you to be able to receive these notifications on emails, right? My properties, I blast the trainings and I do everything on email. So I do appreciate you guys. Next time, what do you guys want to learn from. I think I'm gonna do a training on how to do owner finance, wraparound mortgages. Do you know that I have made the best deals of my life has been properties that I owner finance. And so that is something that probably, you know, there is a lot of people that wants to learn how to do owner finance property. But yeah, my wholesaling training is coming in May. Take advantage, it's only $8.97. Like I say, I'm gonna give you contracts, assignment of contracts, show you how to find these motivated sellers, how to negotiate, how to run the after repair values of the properties without having to have access to the MLS, how to do everything from scratch. There is people making deals with me from the beginning of this training. They get a contract very quickly. Like this, if you are interested on doing wholesaling, check this video, because one of my students got a contract within the first 2 weeks of the training. And this happened all the time. I have a lot of students doing deals with me within the first few weeks. So thank you guys for having me. I'm gonna have Maria to take over this, and then I'm gonna say goodbye. Thank you guys.
Thank you very, very much for your time and for this amazing presentation. You are always the best and super clear in this topic. So we expect you all in future webinars, and let's talk to you soon, Marilyn, and send you the RSVP list so you can add them in your email, and they don't miss any of your news. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us, and we expect you in future webinars in Real Estate IQ.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're not gonna do any presentation anymore, right?
No, at the beginning was it. That's it.
Oh, okay,
Thank
okay,
you.
perfect. Thank you. Have a good weekend, guys. And
Same
you
for
have
you.
my contact. If you need me, let me know, okay? Thank you. Have a good weekend.